Report podcast. Check it out. All things Joe Rogan by day. Rogan Report podcast by night. All day. All night. Half hour to an hour-ish episodes once a week.
The Rogan Report podcast.
All right, Shane, welcome to Season 2, Episode 31.
Back again. It's been another little stretch here, almost 2 weeks again, I think.
More than a week, but I think less than 2.
Yeah.
If I'm counting.
Yeah, we're definitely on our every 10-day thing.
Kinda. Yeah, that feels natural to me. I don't know. Yeah. I didn't feel like we needed one until now. And then, just because we're both going to be talking about actually some fairly recent episodes.
Yeah.
Speaking of telling what we're going to be doing later, my good friend Andrew Scott, a fellow podcaster, has a great show called It's a Conspiracy that they do here. And so go check that out. But he gave us some notes, and I was super appreciative for some feedback, some things he liked about the show. And then one of his ideas that I thought was really good is he said, what if we did a little sort of table of contents at the beginning of the show and just a preview of what's coming up on the show before we start getting into talking about the topics.
Makes sense to me.
So, yeah, I think that's good, too. So people have an idea of where it's going. And if they're like, oh, fuck, I don't want to hear about the stupid NoFX. I want to hear about Lex Fridman. Then they can
skip to
just,
it.
Yeah, just jump ahead a little bit. You know, you got that 30-second skip on the iPhone. I use that thing all the time to bypass Joe Rogan's ads.
Yeah, but some of them you can only hear so many times.
Yeah. I don't need to know about the Cash App.
I know all about on it.
Fuck off. But you know what I wish? I wish there was something that signified all the new ads. I wish he put those first always in the show. So I could just listen to the first 10 seconds of it and be like, oh, this is a new ad. I haven't heard this one. Let me listen to this. Because I do like this. I've supported Rogan through his ads numerous times.
Even when they were silly.
Yeah, of course.
Especially when they were silly.
Especially. I prefer when he goes off script, actually, to the
I never even had heard of Squarespace. And this is back in 2013, I think. Okay. He had started getting Squarespace. I mean, we run off Squarespace now.
Absolutely.
Which is so interesting. But it's a big company now. It's a huge company.
Yeah, they're doing all right.
Yeah. I'd say thanks to Joe Rogan.
Well, yeah, and every other
all the
podcast.
But I feel like he's the big guy.
They actually advertise on TV, too. I started seeing this year some TV commercials. Anyways, let's get into the table of contents.
Let's do it.
So coming up on Right Off the Topic, we're going to talk about a little bit about Fat Mike. He's got a new album out, Cokie the Clown. NoFX is coming to Edmonton. Spoiler alert, those tickets are $69.50 or $249.50. I assume there's a Meet the Band in there or something like that.
There must be some
big
Shake
jump,
the Dick or something.
Big range in prices there. So you're going to talk about misconceptions we had about our future when we were kids.
Yes,
based off of episode of JRE 1292 with Lex Fridman.
That's correct. Yeah,
that's awesome. And I'm going to be talking about the phrase "the meek will inherit the earth," based off of episode 1290 of JRE with Bryan Callen.
Excellent.
That was a great episode. One of my favorites of Bryan. I know he's done dozens of episodes. Yeah, but that was a good one. Yeah. And a little bit about the UFC, Cowboy versus Iaquinta. Can't not talk about that.
For sure.
And then, of course, do you have a news story today of some sort that you were doing some kind of...
Yeah, there's a news story. And also... maybe at the end of the episode, I've got a couple calls to action. I've been doing some work on our website.
Okay.
Also, thought maybe we'd touch on Game of Thrones just a little bit.
Yeah, I guess
we've got 2 episodes to catch up with each other here. So
do we?
Yeah.
Okay.
We hadn't seen Battle of Winterfell on our last one yet.
Oh, okay.
Which, I mean,
yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Yeah. So we won't talk about Game of Thrones till the very end of the episode, so that you can turn it off and be spoiler free and still hear the rest of the episode if you want. But at the end of the episode, for all of you who have been keeping up with Game of Thrones, we'll get into it.
Absolutely.
Okay. So right off the topic, NoFX, one of my favorite bands, if not my favorite band of all time. I'm a huge NoFX fan. The honesty and the comedy in Fat Mike's songwriting. He's just got. I found they have such a range. They'll play 1930s jazz style. They're and then of course a lot of fast kind of pop punk, California punk, with very fast driving beats, and then lots of time changes in their music, which I love. I love when something will be going super fast, and all of a sudden the distortion will turn off, and it'll be slow and with a smooth guitar, and then all of a sudden right back into that
for sure
super fast punk music. So he put out a new album just this year, and I'm not sure how long ago it came out exactly, but it's out now. It's on Spotify. It's under the pseudonym Cokie the Clown, and Cokie the Clown. He wears like clown kind of makeup, and he dresses up for it.
Sweet.
And it is dark.
Yeah.
Yeah. It is borderline disturbing. It's like once you listen to it, you can't unhear it. And there's one song specifically, I guess I'll talk about. The title of it is That Time I Killed My Mom.
Oh, shit.
And it's about when his mom was dying of cancer and she wanted assisted suicide, and it wasn't an option, like legally and medically.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about how he helped and how she ended her life.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
True story or what?
I think they say for like legal purposes that it's all
can't
allegedly.
be a true story.
Yeah.
Totally.
It's all allegedly, but yeah, it's true story.
Hardcore.
And, yeah, and like there's one of the lyrics in the song, he like takes the pillow and puts the pillow over her face.
Oh,
and
man.
it's like, oh my God, this is fucking.
Yeah.
It's just gut wrenching, and like there's a lot of the songs kind of deal with death and with just having a horrific childhood, and it's not a punk album either. Like there's one song, How Punk Rock Saved My Life, that has some punk rock parts, but it goes from like sort of a loungy jazz style into like and like sort of a it's very theatrical. The whole album is kind of like almost borderline a musical. It's got elements of that, but it's very dark, and it's not a very fun album the way like a lot of NoFX albums, though. Within the album, they'll have some very serious songs, a lot of political stuff often, but then they'll also have some like really lighthearted, songs about trans people being funny. And this one does not have any of that kind of lighthearted. It's just
very serious.
Just a very, very tough album to listen to. And I don't know. There's things the lyricism is great on it. It's really, really well crafted lyrics. Some like interesting rhymes and some really interesting phrasing and how he puts the words together.
Yeah, yeah.
But I think I'm not a big fan of the like vocal. Like he sang it a little bit like rough and kind of like, I don't know if he sort of brought his punk rock style of singing, and it seems like he just did one take, and there's a few places where I feel like it could have been a little cleaner for my tastes, but I guess that's a personal thing.
For sure. Yeah.
And I've maybe I'll listen to it a dozen more times and then decide that no, this actually fits the songs perfectly. But as of right now, I think they could have done a few more vocal takes.
Yeah. You've been a fan of NoFX for a hot minute.
Yeah, since I was like 13, and I'm 38.
I feel like when I met you, it was
Whatever
like, hi, I'm Reubs. I'm NoFX's biggest fan. Because that's where I found out about NoFX.
Yeah, it's been a good 25 years or so.
Shit.
Since near their beginnings, but not quite. It was the first album that I heard was White Trash, 2 Heaves and a Bean, it was called.
Mm-hmm.
And they had like actually 2 or 3 albums before that, but that it's hard to say that that's the one that like they got big on, because they didn't really get big on any albums.
So they're pretty huge here. Are they pretty big in like America and around?
I mean, in the circles within people who are into punk rock, they're definitely one of the most famous. But punk rock, just as a genre, is not like Justin Bieber, where everyone like they're not Fat Mike isn't a household name,
right,
by any stretch.
Yeah, I feel like here in Edmonton, NoFX is pretty well known, though. Hey,
yeah, no? I don't know. Like they're not doing Rogers, that's for sure.
Well, yeah.
Although
and more to our generation too, right? Like than necessarily this generation.
And some like the last time they came through on their tour, they played at I think it was about a 2,000 seat venue.
It's pretty decent.
Yeah, but it's not like big like Garth Brooks selling out Rogers Center like 10 shows in a row. Right? Yeah. Like that's another level. Like this is way smaller than that, but it's obviously a lot bigger. Like I'm not doing any 2,000 seat
it's all
venues
perspectives
across Canada.
There's a lot of up and coming musicians that would just love to be at their level of success.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So
that's that show. It's the Punk and Drublic Festival that he's coming to Edmonton with, and it's actually got NoFX, Bad Religion, who's like the other kind of, those are the 2 sort of icons of pop punk.
Yeah, man.
Both those 2 bands.
patches I saw on every grunge kid at
Bad
high
Religion,
school.
amazing. I was singing Bad Religion songs, since the same time as NoFX.
Yeah.
And then Less Than Jake, who's also a pillar of punk and ska, and they've got some great songs. And then a couple, I think Chicks Dig It, who I didn't ever get really super into, but decent little band. And then another band that I haven't heard of. So.
And then at the same time, it's a craft beer festival. So
It's
if
also
you're not into any of that shit, you like getting drunk.
Absolutely. I think it's going to be a good mix. Yeah. And I'm really excited for it. And then, like I said, that's Saturday, July 6th for Edmonton people. That's at the Edmonton Expo Center. And that will be $69.50 for like the base ticket, which I don't think it's going to be like seating, because that expo center, it seems like it's all general, but then there's also it ranges from $69.50 to $249.50. So obviously there must be some other things, like some other extra access, maybe backstage. Yeah. I'm not sure.
And it's all in one day, or is it?
Yeah, one day.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's only like 5 bands, so it'll probably start in the late afternoon and then go till 10 or so.
Yeah. Sounds like fun.
I'm gonna go.
Yep.
All right, so that's right off the top pick, and now let's get into some discussions on JRE. Your take on 1292, Lex Fridman.
Sure, let's go into it. So he is Lex Fridman. He's a research scientist at MIT. He's working on human-centered AI and autonomous cars. So this brings up a lot of issues recently in the news. Tesla recently had a car that crashed based on one of those Meridian things.
It didn't see the Meridian.
Signal it, basically, and drove right the fuck into it.
Yeah, that's not good.
So he's talking a little bit about how basically they're never going to drive themselves.
Yeah, you got to be aware.
We're always going to have to.
Yeah.
And what I thought was interesting is they're talking about how, yeah, you don't have to touch the wheel, but you have to actually watch the road more in one of those cars than you actually do when you're driving.
Yeah, and it can kind of, if it lulls you into a bit of, like when you are actually driving, you're zeroed in and you're focused on what you're doing.
Yeah.
If you start to get distracted and you kind of get lulled into this false sense of security, then you're not going to be as quick to react to something like a curb not being recognized by the car.
Right.
So
I feel like the world's not built yet for autonomous cars.
Yeah, we're getting there for sure. But these, we expected these first iterations to not be
for sure
perfect. And the other thing, though, too, is like, so this one mistake out of how many out there,
right.
What is that relative to the amount of human error causing car accidents?
People holding their cell phone and coffee and fucking eating a burger.
Yeah, is that, is it still a better ratio for us to have autonomous cars than non-autonomous?
I feel like the robots still are winning.
Yeah, I think we'd all be better off to go fully autonomous right now and just put blindfolds on when we get into the cars and not pay attention.
Yeah.
We'd probably have less car accidents than what we currently have.
Well, if everybody did that, it would work perfectly, because the robots would not crash into each other.
Yeah, they would know.
They'd communicate with each other.
Yeah.
I mean, but are you willing to give up the reins to your car? Like,
but
are you ready to just give up driving though? Like permanently?
I could. I'm not. I mean, driving, I kind of enjoy it sometimes, for sure. I drove the Hana Highway in Hawaii.
Awesome.
Which is like 250 hairpin turns across, like driving above the ocean and cliffs, and that was pretty rad. I enjoyed doing that, and I do enjoy, like getting in my golf cart and cruising around, making tight turns and stuff. But it's not like, to me, the way it is to, say, Joe Rogan, even, who's like just a massive fan of cars. I'm like, yeah. Do
you think it would be though if you got behind the wheel of something like muscly and fucking?
Yeah, I would enjoy that for absolute sure, but it's not like something I need. It's not like something. It's not the way I enjoy music or the way I enjoy golfing or the way I enjoy so many other things in my life.
Yeah, I've always been kind of into driving, but at the same time, I have like a love-hate relationship with it.
It's been a career for you.
When I have to do it, I kind of get to hate it after a while. Like, I don't mind doing it for a job because it offers me a lot of freedom. Yeah, I can move at my own pace. Generally, I get it done faster than I would if I was stuck at a job for 8 hours.
Sure. And you get to listen to podcasts the whole time, which
I'm expanding my brain the whole time. I'm doing a mind-numbing job.
Yeah.
So it's
without podcasting,
paradox.
I think I could maybe drive, but like previously when all you had was like just music or like talk radio.
Yeah.
I don't know that I could have done
When I first started doing a driving job, I hadn't really discovered podcasts yet. So I musicked myself to death.
Yeah.
And then I did audiobooks. And I kind of got sick of audiobooks because it's kind of hard to keep the thread when you're in and out of the truck all the time.
Yeah.
And then I discovered a show called Coast to Coast AM, which is like conspiracy shit and all that kind of weird shit.
Yeah, we've talked about it on this
which
show.
slowly led me to a Joe Rogan episode, and that's where, I took off from there.
Yeah.
Because there is some bleed over with Joe Rogan and some of the conspiracy things, some of the guests. I mean, Grant Hancock might have been the first one, actually, for me. I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah?
I'm not, but then I toe dipped into everything, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beauty.
Yeah. What else are we talking about here?
You want to talk about when we were kids, what we thought the future would look like versus what it looks like, what it actually looks like, versus what do we think it's going to look like 20 years from now?
I mean, it's the future right now. If you
It
think
is the
about
future to people to us when we were in 1985 and watching Back to the Future for the first time.
I had a push button phone on my wall, and there was no caller ID. There wasn't any yet.
I had one when I was my first phone was one of the rotary.
Yeah, I had one of those too. And you
Rotary
rented
deals.
it from the phone company. It was called EdTel. You remember that?
No,
old
I lived
school
in
shit?
Saskatchewan, so
Oh, okay.
it was.
So SaskTel.
It was, I think it was
Probably.
SaskTel, and I don't know if we rented it or owned it.
But it's so old school. It brought up so many weird thoughts for me. So,
Okay.
like, where are the flying cars?
Yeah, it's not a good way
Didn't
to.
everybody think there was going to be flying cars, though?
I don't know. The movies did,
Yeah.
but yeah, it doesn't seem
not
like
practical,
that's a better way to do it. No.
It's just people dying in the sky and falling and killing more people all the time.
Yeah, you can't
You'd
have
think.
that. But we
and-
have flying planes, so that's our flying cars.
and we pretty much perfected that thing.
Yeah.
So why do we need a flying car?
Yeah, and
It's not going to go 500 miles an hour or any shit like that.
No.
I don't know how fast planes go. Pretty fast.
yeah, pretty fast,
Something like that, I imagine.
in that range.
Yeah. Another thing is the like fax machine phone communicator thing.
Yeah,
Remember in Back to the Future 2? Where it's like old man Michael J. Fox
yeah.
is getting messages from his shitty boss. Is yelling at him. It might even be that fucking screamy guy. I can't think of his name now. Gilbert or something.
Gilbert Gottfried.
That's the one. It might be him in it. It might not.
Okay.
I can't remember. Or it might have been an Asian
I remember
guy.
he goes into a room and he's got a wall TV and he's able to like have a video conference with.
Yeah, he has a video conference, but also there's like this weird fax paper thing coming out of the wall.
I don't remember
It
the
had,
fax paper part.
You're fired, but it was like
Oh
in
yeah,
dot matrix.
actually, now I kind of
It's
do.
hardcore dot matrix shit
Yeah.
from the 80s.
Yeah, that is right.
And now like we have a smartphone and that with FaceTime, which is only like a tiny little portion of an app.
Yeah,
Of like this much bigger monster that we couldn't even have imagined.
the internet.
Like we just couldn't have even imagined it.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm sure they were imagining it.
sort of in ways. Yeah,
Yeah, but not me. I was playing GI Joes, so
fair enough.
you know.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean that's a weird thought.
What?
And then another one is they have hoverboards in there,
Yeah,
and they do have hoverboards now, but they're not really fucking hoverboards.
they don't
are
hover. No,
They're kind of wheels.
there are wheels.
They're
But
pretty much a rolly board.
they feel like you're hovering when you're riding them. I think that's the.
Have you ridden one of them things?
Never have.
I see a lot of older to middle-aged people falling and hitting their head really hard
Do you?
on funny videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
I have no desire to join that club.
How about the like Russians doing it up on the tops of buildings
Oh, for
with
Christ's
no
sakes. Russians
with
on
no
top of
guardrails.
buildings, man.
Yeah, doing like rolling around. I think Rogan's talked about a
Yeah, he
video
has.
where there's a guy on one of those hoverboards and he's just like rolling right up to the edge and then rolling back from it. It's like,
I mean-
you are insane.
Assholes puckering's a real thing.
Yeah,
When
yeah.
you watch that shit, you're like,
Totally.
oh my God, I'm
Yeah.
going to be sick or I'm going to poop.
It makes my dick tingle.
I don't feel right.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't
weird.
understand that shit, man, how people can do that.
no,
It's so
they just
crazy.
don't have that. That part of their brain
Yeah.
just doesn't go.
So another funky thing from Back to the Future was those jackets, the self-drying jackets. And I discovered
Oh yeah,
that in 2017, a Kickstarter was made to actually create those things.
really?
And they did raise their goal of $25,000. They actually got to $27,000.
Okay.
And they made them and shipped them. And that was all I could find out about them.
They didn't
They
become a
must not
company
be that
after
cool.
that.
You know, I mean,
Hmm.
why though? Why do you need a self-drying jacket?
Yeah, it dries.
You hang it up, it dries.
Yeah, it dries eventually.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Who's swimming in their jackets?
Are those and didn't they also like fasten themselves too? Like you put it on
Right.
and then it's like shh.
And the shoes too.
And the shoes as
were
well.
way more badass
But,
than
yeah.
the jacket. I'd actually rock
Self-tying
those
shoes.
shoes now, but
Yeah. You could. That seems like an easy thing to do. A little motorized like thing in the tongue, and I mean, obviously, it wouldn't tie like a lace. You would just have a loose lace, and as soon as you put your foot in and put your weight on it, the motor just like and cinches down the laces.
It's really cool.
And then when you like go push a little button on the back of the heel, that releases the motor.
Sort of like a ski boot type of situation.
Yeah,
Okay.
and then you just take it off. And once it's released, the laces are loose, and then you take it off. And then as soon as you put your foot in, it senses the weight of your foot, and
Yeah.
so that seems like easy.
But is it good?
Why isn't that out there?
Is it a good thing though? That like makes me think of the movie WALL-E.
They have a
Human-
system, maybe.
How everyone gets really fat because
Yeah.
they don't have to do anything.
Yeah. There's a lace system called BOA, and they use BOA laces on like all different kinds of shoes and ski boots and snowshoes, and it's basically a dial, and you like push the dial, and then you just turn the dial, and it tightens all the laces.
Oh yeah.
And then to release it, you just pop the dial open,
Yeah.
and it releases it. It would be that exact same thing, but motorized and with a sensor that senses your foot is in the shoe.
I mean, it's really cool.
I want it.
Yeah.
Fucking do it, Shane.
It's really cool.
Yeah, you need a new job. Fucking
But it's
go.
kind of silly.
Go create these self-tying shoes.
Yeah. Well, maybe I'll start a Kickstarter.
Okay.
I've been wanting to. I've been like trying to find a reason to have a Kickstarter.
Yeah.
I haven't found one.
Let's create these shoes. We need to. The problem, I feel like I have good ideas, but I just have no idea about the next steps. Like, sure, I could probably fumble my way through going to Kickstarter.com and creating a Kickstarter,
For sure.
but like I don't have the technical knowledge to like, or the contacts with BOA to reach out to get them, and like I need like some engineers, and I need like some people, some law people that know how the law of everything works, of setting up a company and corporation, and some people.
Manufacturing costs.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I need some help.
You need to go into that knowing some of that too, or else nobody's giving you any money.
Yeah, totally, exactly. So
Yeah.
I need like at least probably 1 4-year degree, and then I can create my Kickstarter for my goddamn.
Are we
Back
getting
to
into
Future
the
shoes?
to the shoe biz, or
I
what's
don't know.
happening?
Podcast listeners, help us out here. If you are all the people that I said just now, please get at me. Let's do this.
We need self-tying shoes
Yeah,
and real hoverboards, for fuck's sakes.
there was a YouTube video about real hoverboards, and it was fake, unfortunately.
Yeah, I
But
remember it.
They showed, and it created a bunch of anger amongst people, angry that it was like people. It duped a lot of people.
Yeah.
A lot of people believed it. They're like,
Yeah.
"Holy shit,
Their
they did
ages
it!
boners were
They
long and
fucking
hard.
did it!" But no, they did not do it.
Man, that shit would be rad. But again, the same reason you can't do that is a flying car.
Yeah,
It's too fucking dangerous.
I guess they do have those water hoverboards where you like the tube goes into the water
Right.
and it like somehow
But
shoots.
again, it's a pump. It's not a hoverboard. It's a pump.
like you are sort of attached, yes, to the water.
And also, that's even more dangerous, I feel like, to be launching yourself with a pump out of the water.
I don't know. Stay away from the shorelines. You're probably pretty
Yeah.
safe. It's not
Probably-
nearly as dangerous as like the kiting that we've talked about in the past.
Kiting or fucking
Kiteboarding.
parasailing.
Parasailing, sure. Yeah.
People do some bonkers shit.
Yeah. Yeah, they sure do. Squirrel suiting.
Yeah. I mean, not much more to say about Lex Fridman, I guess.
All right.
He's been on there before.
Yeah.
He comes in a slick suit every time. I get 10 points for that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah.
He's like one of the super nerds, black belt in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And
Believe
his-
steroids should be legal.
Eric Weinstein is his mentor.
Oh,
Tried
really?
to- they mentioned that on the podcast. And I was
Yeah,
like,
they
"Oh,
did. Yeah. That's right.
I didn't realize that was the case.
Yeah.
So let's get into episode 1290 with Bryan Callen. And this was a long episode, and this is just a very brief, 10 minutes or so. They were talking about the meek will inherit the earth and what that means. And they were talking about it as in people have this want to kind of justify their lesser, not performing to their optimum selves, or
Mhm.
or them being at a lesser level or lower level than other people who are performing at a higher level.
Yeah.
And so they're like, sure, that guy's, crushing it as a CEO, but the meek will inherit the earth.
Yeah.
And, saying that as sort of a justification. And I went because spoiler alert, I grew up as a Christian. My
Mhm.
dad was a pastor.
Yeah.
I think we've talked about it on the show
I think so,
before.
yeah. We touched it for sure.
And so I have been to church a lot. I've heard a lot of the Bible stories. Still not nearly all of them. I'm I don't have a master's in theology, but I know a thing or two, and it wasn't my instincts when I heard that quote wasn't that people were using it to justify their like lower existences. So I went kind of looking into it, and I have a few answers. So I guess first thing to do is just talk about some of the definitions. You have to kind of think about the definition of the word meek as it relates to those people. Like meek was obviously when they wrote the Bible, they weren't using English.
Right.
You
This
know,
is
it
all
was
translation.
translated from several different languages before it got to English. But you know, I think most recently it was Greek. And let's just read the actual quote. So the actual quote from the Bible: "Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth." That's like the official translated into the, you know, whatever the kind of most current English version is.
Yeah.
King James version, probably, I assume.
I think that's the main one.
So, definition of the word meek. The Greek word praus, translated here as meek, can also be translated as gentle, humble, or mild, and as indicated by the Helps Word Studies. Seems like they've done a bunch of research on it.
They all kind of seem similar enough.
Yeah. And this difficult to translate root pra, that, you know, means a lot more than meek, and is, as we understand the word in today's language. Biblical meekness is not weakness, but rather refers to exercising God's strength under his control.
So powerful, but not under your own power.
Yeah, demonstrating power, but without undue harshness.
And not for yourself, but for
God, so there's other places in the Bible where they use the word meek, and this gives me a chance to also read some biblical quotes, which is fun for me.
Fantastic.
So, in Matthew 11, that initial one, I don't know if I mentioned, it was from chapter 5, verse 5 of Matthew 5:5. So then in Matthew 11:29, chapter 11, verse 29, Jesus calls himself meek. He says, "Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am meek and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls." So what they mean by that, like Jesus's yoke. A yoke is basically a device you attach to an animal that you attach to another animal. So a smaller animal can kind of learn from a bigger animal, and they can like have equal power when they're pulling a buggy or whatever the fuck.
Typically it was oxen, I think, back in Bible days. Yeah,
exactly. So they're pulling a cart, and the yoke just makes it even for a bigger animal to help a smaller animal. So by taking Jesus' yoke, we are borrowing from Jesus' strength. He is, in effect, offering to help carry our burdens.
Right.
So that's Matthew 11:29. Matthew 21:5, Jesus says, "He will present himself," these are both capital H, he and himself, by the way, "as the Messiah by being meek. He accomplishes this by riding into town on a donkey, which is an uncomfortable, lowly act that only a feeble person unable to walk would need to do, while also fulfilling the prophecy of Isaiah 62. The Messiah would do this. Contrast with Matthew 7:21, where Jesus says, "Not everyone who says to me, 'Lord, Lord,' will enter into the kingdom of heaven, but he who does the will of my Father will know heaven and enter." So here we see that Jesus' meekness mustn't be about weakness, but rather about the balance of his both like godliness and strength.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of an interesting little addition to what they were talking about with that quote.
Yeah.
There were some other really good quotes, like Callen. Callen is really good. He's very well read, and he's good at like pulling quotes. And I wish I had that ability, because I just have such a terrible memory. Like right now, I can't remember the quotes that he said, but he had some really good Nietzsche quotes that they were talking about and getting in. I like, philosophy is one of my favorite subjects to hear discussed on JRE.
For sure.
And I wish that at the time when I was listening to it, I didn't have my notepad in front of me, and I didn't make a note of what those quotes were. Any chance you remember the quotes, Shane?
I don't. He is one multifaceted fella, though, hey? Bryan Callen, he's funny. He's silly goose.
Yeah, for sure.
Fancies himself a fighter.
Well, it's 5 years boxing now.
Yeah.
And he's gets pressured. He spars lightly, apparently, but does get hit in the head.
If you've listened to The Fighter and the Kid at all, which he's on there with Brendan Schaub, he's always talking about how he's like a street fighter. He's fucking...
But jokingly.
Oh, yeah, like, always jokingly, and always prepared to be ribbed heavily for it. Which he always is.
Yeah. I thought it was funny. Joe was giving him a hard time about, like, what if LeBron James was super funny, and like LeBron James was killing at the Comedy Store, and then you had to go on after LeBron James, and you know that he's like this amazing super athlete, alpha everything, but he's also funnier than you. It's like right now you have the thing where you can be like, yeah, he's a super athlete, but I'm funnier. At least I have comedy, or I'm better at this. And people do that. That's a natural thing for human beings to do. They'll be like, yeah, oh sure, that guy's got millions of dollars, but is he happy? And that's sort of kind of what led into the Meek shall inherit the earth. Yeah, they were talking about that subject and people's instincts to like kind of discard what other people's successes and not count them as like valid, and because we didn't do that and we're not doing it, we don't want to look at ourselves and think, oh, could I have been more ambitious with here? Could I have been more effective?
Right. Yeah. And what's kind of interesting, really, the Meek did inherit the earth. The dinosaurs died out.
Yeah.
Little rodents survived.
Sure.
Excuse me. And we all came from that.
Yeah, that's true. And even now,
very literally, the Meek inherited the earth.
Yeah. If even by today's current definitions of the word meek, because those rodents were not powerful. And,
no, they literally hid in the ground until it was all over.
Yeah. So, and then they also talked about in ways, if you think about the current definition of the word meek, how the most powerful people now with regards to financial success are the financial industry and the tech industry that are kind of would be regarded as more meek than
that's true,
than powerful.
And it's not the mighty warrior anymore that's ruling the world.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
The smart guy with the Tony Starks of the world.
Yeah. I mean, and somehow Donald Trump still.
Yeah.
There's been some other crazy controversies. Apparently Trump Jr. is being subpoenaed, and like he did this move to like quash they wanted the redacted or the unredacted Mueller report to be released. Yeah. And he did some like crazy political manipulation to not have it released, and the Democrats are all fired up. And I think they were talking about it in the Lex Fridman episode about how there's never been a more divisive time in history. And I feel that here in our Alberta.
It's fucking Westeros down there.
It's
Game of Thrones in America.
It's twice as bad there as it is here. But I do feel like we are in this divided times, and I think we're influenced by what's happening in the States. Yeah. But also it's just, I think that's kind of been the natural progression. It's weird how close and how similar we are.
Well, it seems like we're marching to catch up with them right now.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Totally.
We're the little island of liberality.
Yeah.
And a sea of conservativeness. So
that's really, those are the main things I wanted to talk about for Bryan Callen. Maybe I should do a weekly examination of a Bible verse.
Sure. If you want. Yeah.
I'm not a Christian anymore.
Yeah. I can hashtag some Christian stuff into our posts, and that'll get a lot of those people over.
Yeah, we need to get the Christian market.
Yeah.
They wouldn't like the rest of the things we say, though.
Maybe we'd open their minds about some things, though.
Maybe.
And that I'm always trying to do.
Yeah, that's not the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
Okay. So the other thing, I guess, should we get into the UFC a little bit?
Yeah,
Cowboy versus Iaquinta. Yeah. So did you watch the whole main card?
I only watched the Cowboy fight.
Yeah.
I got into it at like 2 a.m. last night.
Okay.
I got to at least see Cowboys fight.
So I recorded it on I have like a TiVo or whatever the fuck the equivalent in Canada is.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it and watched the whole main card, and 4th round finishes and my recording stops.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I watched the first 4 rounds, edge of my seat, because that was an amazing fight. That was by far the best fight on the card.
He's killer, man.
Yeah, and Cowboy looked sensational.
Iaquinta is an iron chin, too.
Yeah, had gone into that fight, no knockdowns, and had never been knocked out.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, still never been knocked out.
Still hasn't.
But he had 2 knockdowns.
Fucking should have been, though.
Front kick to the face.
Holy God.
That was like in the 4th round. I think that was 4th round. Cowboy he kicks him in the face kind of early in the round, and then like 2 seconds later kicks him in the face again.
Well, there was a knee to the face as he was coming in for a takedown too that was just fucking brutal, man.
Yeah. How he didn't get knocked out from that, I'll never know.
He's
so yeah, I'm watching it and I'm like, yeah, what an amazing fight! I can't wait for the final round now. And then it's just, and I'm like, fuck. So I have to remember that every time I record the UFC, I have to go in and manually set it to record an extra hour than what it thinks it's going to be, because It just doesn't line
You
up.
never know how long
This
it
is, I think, the third time that I've had the final fight
That's
cut
rough.
short. Yeah.
Did you end up seeing the end?
Well, what I did is I went to YouTube and I watched a highlight recap.
Yeah.
So I watched about 45 seconds of the
Yeah.
but the fifth round seemed
Probably
like just
enough.
more of the same. Cowboy
He fucking
outstriking.
poured it on in the fifth, though.
Did he?
Cowboy, oh yeah.
Well, yeah, it looked like it continued and more of the same because he poured it on in the fourth too. I thought.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And
I mean, he never stopped the whole time.
yeah,
Fuck, does he ever look big at 155? Hey,
yeah,
God damn,
didn't seem to hurt him going down.
he's
and
still thick.
you know, because my concern going back down to 55 is because Cowboy's been knocked out a few times already. You know, and as we know, once you get knocked out, like that chin just doesn't seem to want to hold up. And we know also about being knocked out is that weight cutting is a contributing factor.
For sure.
And you know, if you're cutting the more weight, the less durable you tend to be. Yeah. So, you know, I was wondering, after going up to 170, going back down to 155, is he going to be even less durable?
Seemed risky, yeah. And he still even says, "I'm not even eating clean. I'm a day
Yes.
drinker and shit."
Yeah.
It's so hardcore, man.
Yeah.
He's my favorite, I think.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good. And he took some big shots from Iaquinta. Iaquinta
yeah, he
can
did.
box. That good to fucking, he can hang.
Well, I mean, he dominated the shit out of Kevin Lee in his last fight.
Yeah.
Which surprised the hell out of me then, too. I
Yeah.
thought I had Kevin on that one for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
So-
He doesn't look very intimidating when you look at him. He looks like a little boy next door,
Right.
friendly.
He looks
Friendly
like your
good old boy.
angry little brother when you're fighting him.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Yeah. Angry little brother.
It's funny. But dude, man, like the last 10 seconds, Cowboy was throwing the whole fucking world at him. I don't know how he didn't get knocked out.
Yeah.
Like he fucking was throwing knees, he was jumping. He's had like the last 4 seconds. Quinta fell and he must have ate 5 fucking shots in
Really?
that time. Like Jesus, he didn't even get up when the bell went. He just laid there.
Yeah.
Quinta.
I can kind of imagine being that, like, okay, I'm not just like, finally, relief.
Got my half pay. Time to go home.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Time to go reevaluate. Go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, I'm sure Cowboy probably stole his ranking. He was ranked 4, Quinta,
Yeah.
and the Cowboy was 8
Yeah.
at 155. So now we're definitely pushing for a Connor fight again.
Connor versus Cowboy?
I need it.
That'd be a good one.
And I actually think Cowboy fucks him up
Yeah.
after seeing that fight, man.
I think, well, it's a good question. I think Connor hits harder than Iaquinta. But the question would be, because obviously Cowboy is a black belt in jiu-jitsu and like has some really serious ground game. So you would imagine that his strategy going into that would be to try to get
Take him
Connor to the
down.
ground.
Yeah.
You know, use your striking to like set up the takedown, go to the ground, submit Connor first round.
Well, if you look back to the Nate and Connor fight, Nate stunned Connor right away. Well, not right away. In the second round right away.
Yeah.
And then that's when he choked him out.
Yeah, and I'm sure that would be Cowboys like
Yeah.
stand with him, don't like rush in, fucking a la Jose Aldo, but like you know, box with him, try to get him hit a few times, and then go to the takedown, and then once you've got him on the ground,
The only thing I could see that would give Connor an edge there is that Cowboy gets emotional, and Connor's good at getting people emotional.
that's true. Yeah,
So-
that would be a
And
slight
he's
edge for
lost
Connor.
when he's been emotional.
Yeah.
Cowboy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean it's it's not like it's a sure bet in any
it's gonna be tough to get Connor out of bed. Let's be honest.
the $100 million in the bank.
And his record-breaking
Yeah.
whiskey sales.
Yeah,
They've beaten Jameson.
yeah,
for
that's
sales.
crazy.
So they've taken over whiskey basically.
Yeah, I did not see that coming.
No, I haven't even tried it yet. You can't even get it here in Canada, which is fucked up.
Yeah, was it Prop 49?
Proper 12.
Proper 12.
I don't even like Irish whiskey, but I want it so fucking bad.
Is it 12 years? Is that what the 12 is?
No, it's
Mister?
from like a district in Dublin.
Oh, okay.
12th district or something.
The crazy thing about whiskey, like whiskey gets better the more it ages. So how are you a new whiskey company? Like were they making?
He started doing that right at like even before the Floyd fight. He was already on it because he was drinking his own whiskey after the Floyd fight.
Yeah, but
So-
how old is that whiskey?
That whiskey
Has it
must
been
have been
aged?
pretty new.
Or they like bought a company that was already making whiskey for
No, I think that's the case.
60 years.
I think that's the case.
That's what you'd need to have because you can't just like I'm starting a whiskey company. Okay, I'll see you in 18 years.
Or
or
maybe he already
21
had
years.
like family ties to it or something. I'm not
Maybe.
sure.
And they just kind of rebranded it.
Yeah.
That's
All you got to do is put Connor on anything, and it's making a lot of money.
yeah. I don't know a lot about it, but if they're just making barrels of whiskey and then selling it the first year, that seems like how could they possibly keep up?
Did you see that April Fool's joke Connor pulled about the rosé
no.
wine? He was like, it was April Fool's Day, and he was acting like he was putting
Brought
out
for
his
12?
rosé wines, and he was all like in flowery shirts. And shit. It was really fucking
I
funny.
love that. That's great.
Yeah.
So quickly, the rest of the card, by far and away, that fight was I assume that got fight of the night. I didn't see the thing advertised, but every fight was a decision except for one. It was the land of decisions over there.
Yeah.
Cub Swanson fought against this Shane Burgos character.
Oh, yeah.
Burgos.
Yeah, I remember Shane Burgos.
Yeah, and Burgos looked good. It was relatively even, kind of. I think I called it 29-28 Burgos, and that's what it ended up being.
Oh, Cub lost.
Cub lost. Yeah,
Shit.
yeah. I wouldn't have thought he would, but
That's a big win for Burgos.
yeah, and a bad loss for Cub because he had lost his last couple going into that. So I think that was his third loss in a row, and now he's got to be like,
And he's an old fighter to boot.
Yeah, but he's had some amazing brawls.
Yeah.
Alvarez, I think him and Alvarez that I remember him like. Just,
I think Alvarez is at 155 and he's a 45.
so. Maybe it was.
Remember the zombie fight?
I'm trying.
What's his name? Not
the
zombie.
Korean zombie?
No, it wasn't Korean zombie. It was Superboy Doo-Ho Choi.
Duho, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
That
That
thing
was
was
that was
fucking
an
crazy.
amazing fight.
Yeah. By the way, we haven't seen Doo-Ho Choi since that, have we?
No,
I think he got broken in that fight.
yeah. I like Duho. He had the super baby face, right?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, he just looks like an 8-year-old.
It was twice as big as when he started at the end of that fight, though.
Yeah.
Remember how fucked up his face was?
Yeah, that
Good
was
Lord.
rough. The co-main event was Derek Brunson versus Elias Teodoro.
Oh, the
The
Canadian.
Canadian guy,
Yeah.
he has this weird little like trot that he
Yeah.
does that looks like so effeminate,
Yeah.
and his striking, like he comes from weird angles with his striking, and he's known for having good cardio. They're big, they're middleweight guys,
Yeah.
that was one where I was like, ooh, it's the commentators were saying they thought Thibodeau, whatever the fuck his name is. I hate French names, but they thought Elias was winning the fight. I think they both mentioned that they thought that he had 2 rounds
Yeah.
over Brunson, but they gave it to Brunson.
The bigger name, I guess.
Potentially, I'm not sure.
Or maybe they just saw it different. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I'd like to see the scorecards on that one and rewatch that fight actually because it was kind of a weird one. But again, don't.
Shitty burns for Elias Teodoro.
In his hometown. I mean, I don't think he's young too. He's only, I think, 28 or something like that.
Yeah.
So he's got some growing to do, and it was a big opportunity for him. But I don't think he's going to be like out of the UFC now
No.
or anything.
No.
But yeah, so then Cub lost to Burgos. There was Brad Katona versus Mirab. He wore the
That's tough.
yeah, he wore the Khabib like weird Russian hair.
Oh, okay.
And he had a flag, and we were looking it up. He's actually from like a state outside Russia, but near Russia. And fuck, I don't remember it offhand, but we looked up where he's from because he had a American flag that was tied together with like a weird flag that none of us recognized when we were watching it.
Not the Dagestani flag.
No, it wasn't a Dagestan flag.
You would have remembered that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he did wear the crazy Russian hair, so that's why I was like, oh, I think it's probably somewhere Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
And then, Walt Harris knocked out Sergey Spivak in like the first round.
Sweet.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah.
And that dude's scary. Walt
I think
Harris.
I recognize the first name.
Walt Harris, yeah.
Yeah.
He's mean, big black guy, heavyweight.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I wasn't fighting him or the other guy. Honestly, I'm glad I'm not fighting anyone. But yeah, especially Walt Harris.
Would you go in there with CM Punk? Probably not even that.
No, CM Punk would kick my ass.
Yeah,
for
me
sure.
too. He'd fuck me up.
Oh yeah,
So bad.
Like I would be, and I mean this is one thing that we always wonder, and I've heard that I would probably even get my ass kicked, but like the 115-pound woman category, like certainly they could get some jujitsu on me. I would have to I'm double their weight, so I would have to rely on just heavily no technique, being able to use my weight to land some shots that would Like I'm sure if I got a clean punch to the face on a 115
You
pound
could get
woman,
a knockout.
I could get a knockout. Yeah. I might not be able to knock out a 170-pound man.
Yeah.
Not in one shot, anyways.
Yeah.
But I think maybe a 115-pound woman.
How do you think you'd do against 10 kids?
10 kids?
Yeah. 10
Depends,
like 7-year-olds.
Are they trained?
No, just kids.
They've never trained before. I think I could take them.
Yeah.
Do they have no weapons?
Probably only have to hit one.
They're naked.
No, I think they're clothed. Let's not make this creepy.
But they have no weapons and no
it's
like
just skin on skin.
Okay. Shane, you weren't gonna make it creepy. Yeah. So I think I could take 10 kids. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. How about 20?
I don't
20
know.
might be
20
hard.
gets
They
harder.
could pile on you.
Yeah. That's the thing.
But do they even have the power to even really hurt you?
I don't know.
Like, how many feather punches does it take to equal one punch?
Yeah. The thing is that the ones that start getting behind you and could they together use their power to choke you out somehow.
Yeah. They might.
If they were trained,
like a Rat King type situation, they all like grapple together.
I don't know. Their legs would be the harder thing. Like if they could drag you to the ground and then they start kicking you in the head.
Oh, start doing the bicycle kick? If
Yeah.
you get on their back somehow and start, they could fuck you up for sure.
They could fuck you up with that,
Yeah.
I think.
What a creepy subject.
Yeah. Let's not get into that fight either. So Game of Thrones.
Oh, before we do
Right.
that, because that'll be our spoiler alert.
Okay.
I just wanted to say I updated our webpage. All our episodes are up again. Please go check us out at theroganreport.com.
Okay.
You can hear our episodes and download them from there if you're not even into a podcast app.
Cool. Yeah. Listen right on the webpage.
There's some ads on there now.
Oh, I didn't even
At the
know
bottom of the page. This is hot off the fucking
brand new
press.
that. Okay.
So we have our Amazon portal on there now.
Oh.
You can go to Amazon and shop right from our webpage. The search, you don't even have to leave. The search bar stays. You can search what you want.
I'm going to
buy
do
it
all
and
my
everything.
shopping on Amazon through that now, obviously.
Excellent. And then also I handpicked 7 or 8 ads that are related from Amazon
Oh, okay.
to the Joe Rogan experience. So like there's some on-it ads. You can get your Alpha Brain there.
Cool.
Just click the Amazon link right at the bottom of our page.
That makes
scroll on
sense to
down.
me. Sweet. Good work, Shane.
Yeah,
this
while-
podcast does cost. Like I spend $100 a month-ish on this.
Yeah,
ad
I'm
bastard.
trying to get that money
So
back to you.
it would be nice to have a little bit of ad revenue to help cover some of that.
Yeah.
Maybe we should do like some of our friends. They're doing that whole where you pay like $10 a month to what do you call that shit?
Patreon.
Patreon.
I'd like to hear how successful it's been for them because
Yeah.
I feel like you're cutting off something when you do that, right?
Yeah, because they do like Sam Harris will do like kind of sponsored content or bonus content for people that are
not everyone else
subscribers.
gets to hear.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's how a lot of people do it. If you,
I don't want to trash talk that method, but at the same time, I feel like that we don't necessarily have anything
I think some of the Patreon
to sell
though,
them yet.
No, but I don't. I think that like for Andrew Scott, for example, and their Patreon,
Mm-hmm.
nothing changes. You can get everything for free, or if you want to give them $1 a month,
Oh, it's just the
you
option
can give them
to
$1.
donate.
It's just an option to give them $1 a month.
Yeah, that'd be all right for us, I think.
Yeah. So if somebody out there just wants to give us $1 a month, if we get 100,000 people giving us $1 a month, that's $100,000 a month.
Yeah. But honestly, even if they just go and shop at Amazon and shop through our site, we'll make some pennies off it.
Yeah.
If you do all your shopping on there, we'll make more pennies.
Yeah. It's still going to be pennies, but if we have 100,000 people shopping on Amazon with all their shopping,
We'll make money.
we'll make
Have you
dollars.
wanted to try Alpha Brain like us?
Yeah.
It's on there. It's $100 for like
It's not cheap.
not very many pills.
Yeah.
but
But
you
just
can
give
get
it a
your
try.
Shroom Tech. They've got the Stormtrooper kettlebell is on there.
If you have like a bit, you're going in for an interview, maybe a job interview with $100,000 a year job. How is $100 worth it to go in and put your best performance down in that interview with using some Alpha Brain?
I think so.
Even if all it does is just gives you the confidence to be more confident in the interview.
Right.
You better go buy that right now through our website, and then
It's not
go
like a
have that
limitless
interview.
pill like Bradley
No,
Cooper.
No, obviously not. But
But
it's a slight edge over everyone else.
everyone seems to say so too. Like I don't think I've ever heard a negative thing. I might have heard 1 or 2 people say it did nothing for them,
Right.
but yeah. But there's the other ones too, the Shroom Tech and all that stuff too. So
Sure.
check it out.
Cool. Thanks, Shane. Thanks for organizing that and hooking that up. Well done.
Sure. Game of Thrones. Turn it off now because we're going deep.
Yeah, spoilers. There will be spoilers. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Spoiler
You
alert.
don't want to know what happens? Don't listen.
We need some kind of actual alert sound effect we can throw in there.
Yeah, like the warning one that came on yesterday with the
the emergency broadcast system.
Yeah.
Okay. So, you I think had said on record that you thought Theon would die.
Yeah. I fucking knew he was gonna die.
Yeah, it seemed pretty likely. I remember I agreed with you heavily.
So we'll jump around in the episodes. We don't need to necessarily go through the episode in order.
No.
Since you brought up Theon, Bran knew the Night King was gonna die. He sees the future in the past.
Yeah.
He knew that Arya was gonna kill him. Could he not have said, Theon, go hide behind the tree for a minute. Arya's going to be here in a sec to kill the Night King. You don't have to throw your life away.
That is
What the fuck, man?
That is a good question.
Bran, do you have to be this creepy?
Yeah, he does have to. That's his.
He does.
That's his jam.
I know. But
It's
it
your
pisses me
choice.
off sometimes.
It's your choice, John.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah.
Fuck's sakes.
Yeah.
Maybe he wasn't going to tell. Now he has to.
Yeah. You know what? I gotta make a note. Oh, let's jump forward. You know something that I thought that was crazy? I'm like, why didn't you just do this? So at the end of the very last episode, there's a big face-off between Daenerys and Cersei.
Yeah.
And they've got Daenerys' advisor, what's her name again? The curly-haired Missandei, whatever it is. She's up there. They've got her like handcuffed, and Cersei's standing right beside her.
Yeah.
And Cersei says, "Do you have any last words?" And she's like, shouts out like, "Jago!" or whatever.
Dracarys.
Jack off! But she shouts out, she's like acknowledging, okay, I'm going to die.
Yeah.
So you've acknowledged you're going to die. Why not try to grab Cersei and jump off the...
Yeah, grab her and fall.
There's no there's no railings there.
Yeah.
You could just grab her and jump off the thing.
What's the worst that's going to
Fall
happen?
5 stories.
Giant zombie cuts your head off?
Yeah, that's what happened.
I know.
So you've acknowledged that is going to happen. You know she's going to kill you. She's right there. Grab her, jump off the thing.
Did you think Cersei was just going to toss her bitch ass off the wall though? When she
I thought
grabbed
Cersei
her
was
arm?
going to push her off.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I thought.
I also thought Tyrion was about to die.
When they drew, when she had her hand up, and you were like,
let's
she's
be
going to
honest,
kill Tyrion.
was there a better time to kill Tyrion?
I don't know.
That was a good time to kill Tyrion. And it would have totally made the Mad Queen become the Mad Queen, because she's clearly becoming the Mad Queen.
Yeah.
She's snapping. You could see it on her face in every scene. And then they killed that dragon. That was it, bro. And then Missandei.
Yeah.
Yeah. King's Landing is getting a fucking fire bath.
Yeah. It doesn't seem like things are going to end peacefully.
But also, I thought these dragons were tough.
Yeah, it just gets two.
All it takes is
two
one
arrows.
Crazy fucking mariner and shoot an arrow at him.
Yeah, I thought that was a little bit off.
And did you have to kill Rhaegal like that?
Yeah, I could understand a Night King throwing a spear at a dragon.
That
like
didn't
throwing
bug
an
me.
ice spear. I'm like,
well,
okay,
it bugged me, but
yeah, it sucked, but it made sense that a dragon could be killed by that. He could throw it hard enough. He could throw it with enough accuracy where the dragon wouldn't be able to resist it. But yeah.
I guess now that they have these fucking scorpions, the dragons are nullified. What are you going to do with a dragon? There's 30,000 of those fucking crossbow things shooting giant bolts at you.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I mean, I guess what if the dragon flew up higher than the bolts could reach and then just sprayed fire straight down?
Yeah, you could.
Would that work?
It's super risky.
Would the fire eventually fall to the ground? Does it have enough weight? Does gravity pull fire to the ground, or would it
heat rises, so you're fighting gravity.
I wonder how that would.
It would go down pretty far, though. Think about the dragon at West Ed that used to exist.
Yeah,
you could feel that heat like a motherfucker.
Yeah, but it does raise at the bottom. It doesn't just gravity to the ground and to the floor.
No, it doesn't. No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you could shoot a crossbow bolt pretty fucking high with one of those crazy launchers.
Yeah. I mean, Dany's army's fucked, right?
Seems that way.
Her fleet was fucking destroyed pretty well.
Well, they said only a few ships.
It looked like all the ships when they showed the scene.
I think it was only a few ships, because I don't think they had the whole fleet in there tight. They destroyed the few ships that were up front.
Yeah.
Why they had all the most important people in those front few ships, I don't know.
Why aren't they even going yet? Why aren't you waiting for the big army?
Yeah.
so annoyed with Daenerys right now,
Yeah.
and I don't want her to win the throne.
Really?
At all.
Now you're against her?
I'm Team Jon, but actually, I've come up with a new theory that I've heard on a couple other nerdy Game of Thrones podcasts I've been listening to. It might be going towards a republic where there is no fucking king. It's a fucking democracy type situation.
And
which
Cersei
I think is
and
Cersei's got to have to die.
Jon's
going to die fighting Cersei probably, or in that war.
Yeah,
I would think Jon's going to die.
I think Jon's going to die too.
Yeah,
I thought maybe at the hand of Daenerys,
possibly,
because
possibly
that's the sort of Romeo and Juliet ultimate tragedy.
He does seem to be a little bit unroastable though.
Yeah,
he's been pretty fucking close to that fire a few times, and nothing happened to him.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I think, one thing I was talking about, Cersei getting killed by Jaime.
Yeah, honestly. I don't think he's leaving to go get back with his sister.
You think he's going there to kill her?
Or to die with her.
Yeah.
If nothing else.
Yeah, I think he's going there. Yeah, exactly. I don't think he knows and I don't think he's going there to have a plan to kill her. I think he's going there to try to talk to her. Maybe he thinks, hey, I fought these fucking actual demons. Let's calm this shit down and not get into a big war.
Yeah.
And to talk to her. But I think that he's going to be put into a situation where he has to choose, and he ends up killing her.
Well, he doesn't know he's going down there to meet Euron, who also thinks he's the baby daddy. So
yeah.
That's going to be fucking Jerry Springer
yeah.
in Westeros.
They need Maury to
Should be good.
DNA results.
Yeah, the results are in. And everybody's heading down there. Fucking Arya and the Hound.
Yeah,
we're heading down.
Yeah, Arya could be another candidate because Cersei is the top of Arya's list. For her.
Would it be more satisfying for her to kill him or her to kill Cersei or Jaime? Do you think?
I think Jaime makes more sense because Jaime and her were so close, and it's I just think the Shakespeare influence.
Cersei did a lot of evil, but she actually didn't do a lot of evil to Arya. She was trying to keep Ned alive, if you remember back to season 1.
Yeah, it was her crazy.
She was trying to get Ned to the wall.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know who kills Cersei. Someone does, though, for sure.
Someone.
She doesn't get to live through this shit.
Yeah. I feel I keep wondering about the denouement of the whole program at the last 5 minutes of the last episode, where all the things have happened, and they're kind of like, what I feel like they're going to do is they're going to set something up that allows you to imagine how it goes forward.
Yeah.
And they might give some hints as to things that could happen in the next years, but they won't. I don't think they'll resolve it, and it'll be like, oh shit, that's how it.
There's been the theory floated out that we're going to get a fucking Sopranos ending.
Yeah,
fade to black.
I wouldn't be shocked about that either.
I'd be angry though. I need a Lord of the Rings ending to this show, please.
Yeah,
I need to see fucking everyone wed and happily in their homes.
Yeah,
please. But again, I've heard another quote.
I don't think that's coming.
If you think this show ends fucking nicely, you haven't been paying attention.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
But it's almost like we expect, after now we've had the Red Wedding and we had the execution of Ned Stark.
Yeah.
It's like we expect the favorite people. Like we're expecting Jon to be
It's
killed.
funny you mentioned the Red Wedding. This last episode was the same director, same writer that wrote the Red Wedding.
Oh, yeah?
And was supposed to shock us just the same way. Did it shock you the same as the Red Wedding?
Oh, I wasn't shocked.
Not even close.
Any of it.
No. The dragon died. That sucked.
Yeah.
Missandei, who didn't think Missandei was going to die sometime.
Yeah.
And she's super cute, but
yeah.
Other than that,
not really my type.
What else happened? Bronn showed up. Fucking badass Bronn punched Tyrion in the nose.
Yeah. I thought they were friends.
Yeah, but he's like, you guys have really given me a royal fucking.
He's a little mercenary-ish.
Yeah,
but
he got back to his roots, which I loved it. Man.
Yeah,
I loved that Bronn scene.
Yeah,
he could have stayed and drank with them after, though.
I loved the Bronn scene as well, but I also thought it was a little bit out of. I didn't realize that he was so mad at, especially Tyrion. He knows what Tyrion's been up to and whatnot. Why are you fucking so angry at Tyrion? Tyrion's
I think
your
he's
buddy.
Just sick of all the false promises.
Fair enough.
And fuck it, I want Highgarden now.
Yeah,
and I liked his point. How fucking every lord, you go far back, was just some hard bastard willing to kill enough people to become the lord.
Yeah.
And that's Bronn.
When you kill a few thousand people, you become king.
Yep. And then a few cocksucking sons become some cocksuckers and fuck the whole family up. He says.
Yeah.
I love Bronn, man.
Yeah, Bron's great.
I have like multiple favorites. It's really hard
Hope
to
he
have one
doesn't
favorite.
die. How about Daenerys made the Baratheon an actual Baratheon, and he's going to be lord of whatever the fuck place.
Yeah, which was sweet and touching, but instantly became gross because she was clearly just a ploy to get people on her side.
Yeah, and also was like, okay, he almost made the point of like what the fuck do I know about being a lord, and why would you do that? This makes no sense to me.
Yeah, although there is no living heirs to the Baratheon family but him.
Yeah, so I mean, in that part of
except for the other 20 bastards that Robert fathered across King's Landings.
Yeah, I mean, maybe you give those guys some kind of like night ship or whatever.
Maybe in a perfect world, he goes and finds them all and hooks them up.
Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah,
I was joking when we were watching it. I was like, it's like, okay, I've made you lord. All right, now time for some hard decisions. Your lands are cut. You need your armies. Who will you sacrifice? Make the decision, young Baratheon.
And then he goes and tries to take Arya's hand, and obviously not.
No, who didn't see that?
If she would have said yes, I would have been so stunned. And probably annoyed.
She was not. And it's almost weird that he would even think that was a possibility,
dude.
It's like, know your audience, buddy.
Do you remember what happened 2 episodes ago?
Yeah,
she took control, not you, bro.
Yeah, she's not going to be a lady of a fucking whatever the fuck your place is.
Yeah. And quit kissing our little sister Arya, for fuck's sakes.
No, I didn't mind the kiss.
I'm just teasing, but
you know, I would understand him going and being like excited, and want to tell her and be like, "Hey, this, like, you know, what do you think?" But like to ask her to be a lady, it just seems
weird.
Like
super weird.
And then to be surprised when she says no, it's like, buddy, pay attention.
She let him down nice though.
She did, yeah. She kissed him back, and then she's like, "Dude,
yeah,
any lady would be lucky to have you." And it's like he's like, "Oh, that's as soon as you hear that."
Do you think she shacks up with the Hound, or is that way too creepy?
Threesome with the Hound and the Mountain.
Oh, God. That's clearly why the Hound's going down south, is to kill the Mountain.
Yeah, you'd expect so.
I think that's actually what's going to happen is the Hound gets killed by the Mountain.
Yeah.
And then
head crushed.
I think we might see Arya kill the Mountain.
That would be a good...
Because she hates the Mountain worse than she hates Cersei.
Yeah.
The Mountain actually fucked with her.
Yeah. Yeah, that would make sense to me.
Yeah.
And would please me. So it's the weird thing is we know that things in the past have been unpleasing, and they're going to find an unpleasing way to do it. So these things that would make a lot of sense and would be awesome for us, is he not going to do those like out of spite?
Yeah.
He doesn't even have the book finished yet. I guess
here's
he's
the thing, and you can actually see it from season 6 on with the show. There has been no book to back it up.
Yeah.
Season 5 was the last book.
Yeah.
So...
But he talks, like he's working closely with the writers, and he's given them sort of the outline of what he's going to write.
Yeah.
He just hasn't written it
Except
yet. But he
the
knows.
Other thing is he's also said he's going to write it differently.
Yeah?
It's going to be different.
That's what I wonder, is how different is it going to be? Is it going to be an alternate ending?
I just actually finished listening to the whole series on audiobook, and it's way different from the show.
Yeah.
There's so many characters that are dead and so many characters that are still alive in the book. Like, there's such giant differences that the outcome has to be different.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not super learned on all the...
Robb Stark's son isn't dead. At the Red Wedding in the book, his wife isn't there.
Oh,
so
really?
she's hidden somewhere with his son.
Oh.
So there's an heir to Robb Stark. So he's the heir to the Winterfell.
Interesting.
The son. So which is totally different from any storyline that's going on now. And there's other things too. I can't even pinpoint them all right now, but the last thing that happens in A Dance with Dragons is Jon gets killed by the Night's Watch. So the books haven't even gone past that part.
Wow.
So he may not even rise. There may not be Jon Snow.
That doesn't seem right.
I can't see it.
But because he's also working with the writers. Like the writers aren't just for
That's
HBO
true.
aren't just like willy-nilly deciding
he said
what
it's
happens.
likely to come to the same general outcome, but how it gets there is going to be a lot darker and a lot more drawn out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's one point is it's supposed to be fucking cold and miserable in winter.
Yeah.
Everyone's got no hat on.
Yeah.
When it's winter here in Alberta, do you have no hat on?
That's true.
Not at all. It's supposed to be colder than that there.
A bit of a plot hole.
And how long it takes everyone to get everywhere. In the first season, it took 4 episodes to get to King's Landing.
Now it's
now it's 5 minutes.
Hop in a prayer.
They're just
How about? And then I guess we should also talk about the Starbucks cup on the
right.
left out on the desk. I was trying to watch for it during the episode, and I actually didn't see it.
You know what's stupid? I watched the episode again with the intention of catching that, and then I didn't catch it and watched the whole episode again and totally forgot why I even watched it because I got right into the episode again.
Yeah. I don't know. I kind of, yeah. Was it on the ship when they were
No, it's
traveling?
in Winterfell.
In
It's
Winterfell
when
when the
Dany's
war-
got her lemon face on and she's not having fun at the
Yeah.
party that everyone else is having fun at.
Yeah, right. You know, another thing then too is fucking Sansa. How about a little bit of a poker face from Sansa when like Daenerys makes Baratheon the like true Baratheon, not a bastard.
She's all
And she has
Hawkeye
like
in
a
the whole
horrified face. I'm like, Sansa, fucking how about a little
Jesus.
calculation? You don't have to like, if you don't approve of that move, great. Don't fucking show it and don't be a cunt. And
I've
I
been
liked when
Team
Tyrion.
Sansa until now, honestly.
Yeah, me too. And I thought Tyrion had some good points when he pulled her aside. He's like, "Hey, what good does it do for like even if you don't like her,
Yeah.
what good does it do for you to be a cunt to her all the time right now?
What do you-
Like that's not doing anybody any good.
Yeah.
Be nice, even if you don't like her. Fucking poker face.
He's like, we have to make peace. I'm not the leader anyways. Jesus, lady.
Yeah.
What is happening?
And then, as soon as, man, I was like, John, don't tell them. And as soon as he tells them, they go and fucking Sansa.
But again,
he could have
Bran,
told Arya.
Brent, sit on your chair and shut the fuck up, okay?
Yeah.
You don't have to tell them.
You think that was
A fucking
It's your
course I
choice.
have to now.
It's your choice, John.
What's his choice?
Yeah.
Do you think maybe his sisters might want to know what that question was?
Do you think that spurred on? Yeah. Like
I mean, of course.
he would have had to. They would have been like, what? Okay, well, he can't not tell us
He
now.
was going to tell anyway.
He was going to tell. He has to. That's like his whole thing. He can't not tell the truth, right?
Yeah.
Remember, that was one of the things they liked about him when he told Cersei, he's like, yes, I'm fighting for the North. I forget what the exact terms were, but something she wouldn't want to hear.
Yeah.
And
He's
he could
Ned
have lied
Stark
to
come
her.
again. Ned Stark come again, man. He tells
Yeah.
the truth always.
Yeah. He's not going to lie.
Yeah. He died for it.
Yep.
And yeah. I mean, honestly, if what I want to happen is I want him to get the throne. I want it to be a happy ending. Fuck, I wanted him to marry Daenerys and have a happy ending like that.
Yeah.
A couple episodes ago. But,
Yeah. And then, Tyrion was pushing for that. It's like they can rule as king and queen.
but Varys makes such a solid point. While the Targaryens think that's normal, they don't fucking think that's normal in Winterfell.
Yeah.
That'd be like you or me marrying one of our aunts.
Yeah. Would not be down
It'd
with
be
it.
totally weird.
I'll go on record right now and say I will not marry any of my aunts.
No, not even close.
Yeah. Give me like a second cousin or like
Second cousin, maybe.
That's the closest. And she better be super hot and super cool.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Um,
silly.
Yeah, I don't know. So there's a couple of predictions. There's a couple of little discussions roundabout way of the last couple episodes. The battle was pretty awesome. It was a little dark, a little hard to see. I don't know how you were watching it. It's like I felt like I needed to watch that in a really dark room because if you have any like light shining on the screen, I was getting some like reflections of the lights I had on in the house, and it had to be like a really dark.
I did turn all my lights off for
Did
that
you?
one, and
Yeah.
I made everyone shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I ended up turning all my lights off as well. I was a little surprised we didn't lose more people in that battle.
Yeah.
Ser Jorah, like that was, of course, seemed like, but then everyone else was just like
This
really.
is sort of the point I was getting to actually when I was saying how the book sort of ended at season 5. Since then, they've been kind of kowtowing to the fans. They've
Yeah.
been giving the fans what they want since that.
That's true.
They brought Jon back. They
Yeah.
let Jon kill the fucking. Well, he didn't kill the bastard, but he won the battle of the bastards.
Yeah,
There hasn't really been a lot of sad things that happened since that.
yeah. Ser Jorah, I guess, he was the most main
Yeah.
of the characters.
I mean,
to
I
die
loved
in
Jorah,
that.
but I also
great.
knew he was going to die for Daenerys sometime.
Of course, yeah. He had to,
So yeah, I don't know.
or he could have killed Daenerys.
But
And then
so
that would have been like a shocking thing. We were like, what?
But I mean, it's good they killed the dragon. I hope they start making some hard cuts next episode. I need to see a lot of people die next episode.
Next
man.
episode's going to be big battle.
Yeah.
Like for sure, right?
Typically, every season, the second last episode has the most horrific thing happen in it.
Mm.
Like the Red Wedding was second last. The
Yeah.
fucking Ned lost his head on episode 9.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it's funny because you feel like those are the final episodes of the seasons.
Yeah.
You don't realize, but then the next episode basically sets up kind of the next season.
yeah, and it's totally, and it sort of ties up some ends.
Yeah,
Usually each
Yeah.
season.
yeah. There's some things there.
Yeah.
Man, what a great show.
Oh yeah. gonna be weird when it's over.
Yeah.
I've been watching the show. Everyone's been watching the show 8 years, man.
Yeah. You know, another thing though that I was talking about, is it's almost impossible. Whatever they can do, I can't see how they can do something good enough to live up to the expectations of us all who need this ending. You know, ending a season is very different from ending a series.
Yeah.
You know, like we need this to be bigger and better than any of the other season endings.
Well,
and how can they possibly do something that, and it's just so big.
There's that, but then there's also, this is the best show of all time, too.
Yeah.
It's not just beating other series and seasons, it's beating every show ever. It has to be the best ending ever.
It needs
basically.
to be an amazing, amazing ending that we don't see coming, but feels great to us all.
Yeah.
Feels like oh, fuck, yes, they did it right. That's how it should have ended.
Yeah.
That's what we all want, is to have that feeling. And I just can't see, it's so complex. There's so many other things going on too, that it's just going to be, I don't see how they can make the story good and tie up all those extra things. Like, I guess the books have to do that. They can't really do that in the series.
No.
Like, even Jon and Daenerys, like their relationship, they've really barely talked since the whole thing. And it's like not really
this
going.
is kind of what I mean. Like, in the books, it's way more dragged out. This decision to make the last two seasons shorter, I think was a terrible decision.
Yeah, make them longer.
Fucking terrible decision. Have them 10 episodes each and have them be long episodes.
Yeah, 10 episodes each, and the last 3 episodes of each season are all 2 hours.
Yeah, that would have been satisfying.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, because that's the other thing. The other seasons have been way more dragged out. Storylines don't play out over an episode.
Yeah, we got to see Arya walk with the Hound, for a dozen episodes or whatever it was.
And you'll see them do nothing. Literally travel from one place in a forest to a town.
Yeah, and little things that kind of show their character and show their relationship. And
so I guess from that perspective, we've already done that, so we don't necessarily have to do that
not
anymore.
Between them, but we do need that between Jon and Daenerys.
We alleged two main characters.
There's really like kind of not much chemistry between them.
Really, yeah.
Where you're like,
they don't even look normal.
They were going to have that
together.
kiss, and it's like when she went to him and they started kissing, and they hadn't talked yet about the thing.
Yeah.
Even that kiss, it was like And
when he pulled away, I was like, no doubt, pull away, bro. That's weird.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. But we will know. We will know in 2 weeks.
2 more to go, man.
2 more.
Yeah. Well, we went pretty deep on it.
Yeah,
we can talk more about Battle of Winterfell. It was a tremendous episode.
Yeah,
it was dark. Yeah,
I have to go. I have a brand new nephew that was just born days ago.
Yeah,
and he's having his bris today.
Oh yeah, what's that?
That's where they cut your penis.
Oh shit.
Yeah,
I was afraid you were gonna say that.
Yeah, that's what it is. And I have mixed feelings about that. Obviously, they talked about that on Rogan a lot.
This is he's Jewish, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why I was struggling so hard with that.
Yeah, and apparently that's one of the main tenets of Judaism is the circumcision. It's one of the most important things. I didn't realize that.
Mm-hmm.
And I was trying to think obviously Rogan says no, don't do it. It's barbaric and it's unnecessary. But at the same time, I'm glad for my sex life growing up that I wasn't, when I took my pants off, girls weren't like, oh, yeah, ew, weird. And they were like, oh yeah, that's sweet. I'm happy to suck on that. Yeah. And, so I would want that for my son too. But the world is changing and it is becoming, I guess, more acceptable to not be snipped. But when I was a kid, girls were
pretty much everyone was.
Yeah, they were like, "Ooh, that's the fucking hose monster! Get it away!"
Yeah.
And then obviously, if you have to, I guess, clean it before every sexual interaction with a lady, otherwise it stinks, right, or something. I don't really know.
I guess.
But for the improvement of the sex life of my son, glad that he had a circumcision.
Yeah.
I'm glad that
I see all the points on it. I mean, the cleanliness things are a real issue, especially for kids, I imagine, right? It's probably tough to get your little one to keep that thing clean. But
yeah. Probably. Isn't it? It's like, you brush your teeth? Did you wash your dick? Show me. Right? Because moms are always making kids show them their mouths.
Oh, yeah.
You have brush your teeth? Let me see.
That's what being a parent is, man. Is seeing all the worst.
Yeah.
Just let's see it.
Yeah. That would be the worst thing about it. That's reason enough to circumcise your kid right there. You don't have to check his penis to make sure that he cleaned it properly.
Yeah.
Okay, let's end it on that note, I guess. I do have to go. Yeah, it's his bris, and there's going to be a little celebration. So I'm going for that. Probably go hop into work for an hour or two, get some shit done first, and then I got a tea time tonight too.
Excellent.
Want to play some golf?
Nice. That's the weather's supposed to be nice today. It's supposed to be nice all weekend.
Yeah,
man.
it's cloudy out, but it's like 16 degrees. So
Yeah, we did have some showers yesterday.
I'll take that. Yeah, hopefully it's nice out there.
We need these showers, man.
We sure do.
It's brown as fuck in Edmonton.
Yeah, but it's greening up. I think we had showers, we had snow, and now that moisture is getting it's gotten a lot greener just in the last few days.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, thanks, buddy.
All right.
We'll get together again in the next 10 days or so.
Sounds good, man.
All right.
Take it
Bye,
easy.
everyone.
Hey there, Joe Rogan, super fan. This podcast is for you, my man. Or woman, or non-binary. Our recaps will be legendary. The Rogan Report Podcast. Come on, you'll have a blast at the Rogan Report Podcast.